So before we can start talking about theme parks and all the fun things that they're about, we have to talk about attractions. What's an attraction and why are they important? Well, they're very important. An attraction, by the dictionary definition, is a person, place, or thing or event that is intended to attract. Okay? That's a pretty boring definition. For the purposes of this class, it's a site, event, or person that has the capacity to motivate persons to gravitate towards it or them. All right. What's your name? Yes. Yeah, you.
Sabrina.
Sabrina. You live here in Columbia, right? You got probably an apartment, dorm, something like that. You like it, pretty comfortable. You know where your bed is. You got your own refrigerator. You stock it with food that you like, right? You've made yourself a little home, right? Oh wait, no. Here, take my pen there. Okay, you got yourself a little home, right? Did you go anywhere for spring break, Sabrina?
Yeah.
Where'd you go?
Gulf Shores, Alabama.
Gulf Shores, Alabama. Why did you go there? Don't answer that yet. Why would you intentionally get up and travel somewhere else that you may or may not be familiar with, right? Not sleep in your own bed, sleep in a strange bed, right? And it cost you money to go there. And did you go out to eat? Once, but you had to go shopping. It's expensive, okay? So, it doesn't seem like a logical choice when you can go home and be in your own comfortable little environment, and yet you intentionally chose to pick up and go somewhere strange. Why did you do it? It was fun. Why did you go? Did you see something specific?
Beach.
The beach, right? You were attracted to the beach. Attractions, this is very vital. Attractions motivate us to travel. Because if there's not anything to attract us, we don't travel. And what happens if we don't travel to the hospitality industry? Dries up and goes away. Hotels, attractions, big percentage of restaurants account on visitors for their business. They have to be attracted to a location. Does that make sense? Without attractions, without something pulling us, motivating us to travel, we don't travel. If we don't travel, then our industry dries up and goes away. It's pretty crucial, right? So it's the pull of the site, event, or person, and the ability of the person thusly targeted to move. It gets us out of our comfort zone, gets us off our butts, and gets us traveling. Right? I think that's pretty cool. So that's what attractions do. Okay? Could be the beach. Could be the mountains with snow to go skiing. Right? Could be a concert. There's a bunch of things that motivate us to travel. And so when that happens, we're traveling to an attraction. We're attracted to something, right? Okay. So from an economic standpoint, we break attractions down into demand side. We already talked about that, right? Provides a motivation to travel, gets us up and going. But there's also a supply side, okay? Many of you here work in restaurants and hotels. Your jobs are there to supply, to meet a need, and that's the need of people traveling, okay? But there's also another really neat part on the supply side about attractions. Does anybody come from, this always works, Charleston? Who's from Charleston? No one from Charleston? Okay, you're from Charleston, right?
Somerville.
Somerville? Okay, you're familiar with Charleston.
Yeah.
A lot of old buildings in Charleston, right? A lot of old buildings. Let me ask you a question. They're probably not very efficient in use of land or space, and air conditioning, they were built, 200 plus years ago. Why don't they just tear them all down? Build beautiful, nice, new, tall high-rises.
People want to come, because of history.
Excellent. People won't come. Why are they coming?
To see the history.
The history, the charm, all of that. And so this is a little bit deep, and I want you to understand where I'm coming from here. Okay? I mean, you're proud of Charleston, right? And you'd probably be protesting vehemently if they wanted to tear your buildings down, right? Because that's part of the history and the charm of your home area. Okay? That's what attractions do. Because people are attracted to things historical and beautiful, then we have an economic or a financial incentive to keep them. Let me say that again. We have an economic incentive to keep history, to keep architectural beauty in an area we like. Okay? Anybody ever been to the Everglades? Right? You like the Everglades?
Go there every year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I go
Short
fishing.
Valley?
No, I go down to Choklowski.
Okay.
I've been going since I've been like in 5th grade.
Everglades are very cool.
Yeah.
If you've never been to the Everglades, it is a unique region. There's no other place like it in the world. Okay? I see that, you see the beauty of that. Other people would look at it and say, it's just a big swamp. A lot of alligators, a lot of mosquitoes, it's just a big swamp, okay? But because people, what's your name?
Kyle.
Kyle. Because people like Kyle love the Everglades, and I'm sure you spend a nice little chunk of money every year going down to the Everglades, right? Right? Mm-hmm. You support them with your dollars. And so there's a financial incentive to keep the Everglades exactly like they are. Okay? Because if people weren't attracted to it, it wasn't an attraction, it would take them about 10 minutes to pave the Everglades entirely over and build housing developments and malls on them. But because people like Kyle and myself say, hey, we love the Everglades exactly the way it is, we don't want anybody touching it, we don't want anybody developing it, right? We pay with our own money, we put our money where our mouth is, and we support the fact that the Everglades is a unique ecostructure. And as long as people will pay dollars to go see it as an attraction, hopefully we'll be able to keep it like that forever for your grandchildren and their grandchildren. Isn't that cool? Right? Anybody come from a small town where maybe they redid the theater and it's a source of civic pride? Anybody from Newberry? Where are you from?
New Jersey.
New Jersey.
Small town.
Okay. What do you got?
We actually we have no stoplights or anything. The only thing we have is half of a King's grocery store.
Okay.
And they just renovated the whole thing.
Yeah, and it would make more sense probably to tear it down and put in a brand new, beautiful grocery store, right? But the people wanted to capture and showcase something unique about their town. And so that's what an attraction does, okay? You got my pen? Okay. Throw it back there. There you go. Good. Okay. So that's what attractions do. And, people tend to think of attractions as, it's just this fun business, and it's not really even a business, it's just fun. No, it's a business, okay? It definitely incorporates supply and demand into it. And so, without attractions, we'd be in trouble. When we talk about attractions, we talk about, it usually falls into one of three categories. Okay, we call them heritage attractions, and it's natural, cultural, and built. Okay, again, I would probably make sure I know these. Natural, cultural, and built. Okay. Natural is pretty self-explanatory. Natural was probably around long before man and will probably be around long after man. Things like the beach, the Grand Canyon. I've got examples here. The Everglades, right? The beach, certain gardens are very natural. People are drawn to them, right? Who's been to the Grand Canyon? All right? It's pretty impressive. Some people love it. Some people say it's just a big hole in the ground. But once again, we preserve it exactly like the way it is. We don't put a Motel 6 in the middle of the Grand Canyon or, a Hardee's restaurant. We like the beauty, the natural setting of the Grand Canyon. The beach. There's a lot of controversy. Okay, how much to build on the beach, and at what point does it stop being beautiful and natural and just become a bunch of condos? Okay, it's an argument for a different place at a different time. Cultural typically revolves around events. Okay, so things like concerts, festivals, the state fair. Believe it or not, that's a cultural event. Alice Cooper's coming to play May 14th. Believe it or not, that's a cultural event. Rock concerts are cultural events. Doesn't have to be the symphony. It can be a rock concert, a rapper, anything that attracts people. Again, usually revolves around an event. And the last one, of course, is built, and this is man-made. I typically think of, Washington, D.C. with all the monuments as being built. New York City, and of course, Walt Disney World is a built attraction. Most of these places were on swampland that you would have never visited in your entire life, but because we built something spectacular there, it becomes an attraction. Okay? All right, so that's kind of the macro view. Now let's get into the fun stuff. Theme parks and amusement parks. Okay?